Gas distribution and transmission lines. In North Carolina, intrastate and interstate pipelines carry a variety of products. These products include natural gas, propane, jet fuel, gasoline, and diesel fuel. Understanding the differences in these different fuels is important if you work around these products during any excavation activities. Distribution pipelines are used to transport products across the state to customers. Distribution lines are generally smaller diameter pipes with lower pressures. Natural gas, when escaping, will vent into the atmosphere when unrestricted. Natural gas is odorless, colorless, and non-poisonous. Transmission facilities are not required to odorize their products before the distribution point or point of service to the customer. In order to help detect a leak on the distribution side, mercaptan, which smells like rotten eggs, is added to natural gas as a safety feature. Propane is heavier than air when escaping and will accumulate near the ground and will not dissipate. Here you can see the propane is hovering near to the ground and migrating over the road. A passing car might easily be the ignition source for this product and cause a bad situation and/or injury. Although natural gas and propane are non-poisonous, at high concentrations, these products will displace the oxygen in smaller confined spaces, causing dizziness or asphyxiation. Contact with liquefied propane or natural gas may cause burns, severe injury, and/or frostbite. This image shows us the density of these products. Natural gas will rise when released, and other products such as propane, gasoline, jet fuel, and diesel fuel vapors will hover close to the ground and may even pool in low-lying areas. These products will form explosive mixtures with air and can be ignited by heat, sparks, or flames. In order to have combustion, though, the right mixture of three things must occur: the correct mixture of oxygen, a fuel, and an ignition source. It is important to be able to identify the signs of a product leak. A release can occur in an instant through excavation damage or may occur due to other causes where the leak has gone undetected over a period of time. Signs may include a spot of dead or discolored vegetation in an otherwise green area, blowing water, continuous bubbling, dust blowing up from a hole in the ground, hissing, and/or a rotten egg smell.
What is natural gas? Natural gas is an odorless and colorless gas that is highly flammable under very specific conditions. It's also lighter than air and can be under high pressure. So, if it is released, it will follow the path of least resistance. It can disperse in many directions and can migrate into areas beyond the initial leak, including nearby structures.
If you are installing facilities using horizontal directional boring or drilling, you must expose the natural gas lines to assure the safety of the installation and your personnel. Natural gas facilities must be totally exposed to prevent damage or possible injury. In the event of a product release from a pipeline facility, leave the area immediately. Abandon any equipment and walk upwind. From a safe location, notify your local emergency responders by dialing 911. Notify the pipeline operator and remain on scene. Advise others not to enter the area, and all damages are reported to NC 811. North Carolina natural gas pipelines total over 65,000 miles of distribution, main, and services. There are 3 major distribution operators in the state of North Carolina and 9 municipal operators who also serve inside the state. These pictures are of regulator stations where pressure reductions are occurring. At these points in the system, pressures are reduced from several hundred pounds to distribution pressures. Here is a smaller version of a regulator station, more commonly seen in front yards where higher pressure taps occur to provide service to residential and small commercial customers. These may or may not have bollards or protection. Although this looks like a minor facility, it is reducing large pressure volumes down to distribution pressures. These are sometimes referred to as farm taps. Pipe materials used in natural gas distribution construction include steel and various types of plastic. Warning tape is often placed in trenches above pipes to notify excavators that a pipe is buried below. Tracer wire is installed to allow plastic facilities to be locatable. Damaged tracer wire will eliminate the ability to locate these underground facilities. If tracer wire is ever damaged during your excavation project, you should always contact the utility owner for proper repair. Other damages such as scratches or nicked coating on steel lines or scratches on plastic pipe may not immediately result in a leak, but do require repair by qualified personnel. These repairs are normally conducted without charge to you. Excess flow valves began being installed as a safety feature on all residential services as of 2006. It will restrict the flow of gas for safety reasons in the event of a damage. It does not stop the gas totally, and migration can and will occur if left without proper repair. Past construction practices for installing utilities may have resulted in gas lines inadvertently being installed into sewer lines. If these crossbores are found when clearing sewer lines, it provides a pathway for natural gas to enter the sewer system. When clearing sewer lines, if a blockage is found, please call in an emergency locate to NC 811. Emergency locates will determine whether or not a utility is crossing the sewer line. Using cameras to determine obstruction is an additional precaution. Transmission pipelines are used to transport products to the distribution pipelines, storage facilities, terminals, and end users. Transmission pipelines are larger diameter pipes with higher pressures and larger volumes. Both transmission and distribution pipelines pass through designated corridors that are required to have signage. The transmission pipelines are marked with above-ground signs, usually positioned to create a line of sight across the topographical changes of land. These markers are not always positioned directly over transmission pipelines. They're used as wide-range markers. Transmission pipelines normally follow well-defined easements and may share the same corridor with other utility lines. Easements vary in width, anywhere from 30 to 175 feet, depending on the number of pipelines and the terrain. Pipeline markers will indicate the type of product in the line, a toll-free number to call, and the company that owns the line. Each utility company has their own set of requirements for encroachments and crossings. To know exactly what will be required, you should contact the utility company well in advance and communicate with them any necessary activities you will be performing. This is important because before any work can be done, all prior notifications for any activity requires approval from the pipeline operator. In addition, there must be a facility representative present during your excavation to ensure the pipeline is protected during your construction. Foreign line crossings are any outside utility crossing the pipeline. These can include telecommunication, electrical, water, and sewer lines. All foreign lines should be positioned to cross the right-of-way at an angle as close to 90 degrees as possible. Foreign lines should be installed with a minimum of 24 inches of clearance between the existing pipeline facilities and the foreign line. Also, no above-ground structures are allowed in the right-of-way limits. Encroachments along the pipeline right-of-way can include planting of shrubs, road crossings, fences, or any other foreign construction. No trees or large deep-rooted shrubs are permitted on the right-of-way. Some types of shrubs may be permitted providing the plantings do not interfere with the operation, maintenance, and inspection of the pipeline and related facilities. Pipelines will complete a preliminary engineering review for all roads, streets, driveways, and parking lots proposed on the right-of-way. These crossings should be at an angle as close to 90 degrees as possible. Parallel occupancy of the right-of-way is prohibited. Fence posts should not be installed within 5 feet of any pipeline. Pipelines may require hand digging for fence posts installed within its right-of-way. As encroachments and foreign line crossings increase, the risk of pipeline safety also increases. As these images show, although pipelines were originally installed in rural areas, over time construction growth has changed the proximity of people to these lines. Temporary equipment crossings. Pipelines will perform an engineering evaluation to determine the effects of any equipment used for external loading. They may require that mats, timber bridges, or other protective materials be placed over the underground facilities for the duration of the work. Water impoundment and erosion control. The collection of water on the right-of-way is not allowed. Blasting around pipelines requires special engineering consideration by the pipeline companies, so provide ample time, usually 10 days or more, for evaluation before a project. Many fuel liquids are transported through pipelines and stored in tanks such as these. These products include gasoline, kerosene, jet fuel, diesel fuel, and some home heating oil. Benzene is a component of gasoline. It is a colorless and highly flammable liquid with a sweet smell. Benzene is a carcinogen that targets the liver, kidney, lungs, heart, and brain and can cause DNA strand breaks and chromosomal damage. The main lesson to remember is notify the company if any contact is made with the pipeline. Pipeline operators ask that you help avoid any incidents involving a pipeline. Notify them if you see excavation or activities on the right-of-way with no utility representative present.